No way. Right. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started. Well, first off, thank you. Thank you all for being here. I see some of you that have come back a second time. I'm hoping that's because the first one was so good. Yeah, okay, right on. Love that, love that. We're gonna be hosting these quarterly, so keep on coming back. I'm Cynthia Peterson, you guys. I'll be your presenter and moderator today. I am an agent here at eXp Realty, and I have one little teeny tiny short-term rental that my husband and I rent out. I'm gonna introduce you to these folks back here. They really know what they're doing as far as investing goes. I just got one little spot. These guys have tons. I'm going to introduce you to our amazing sponsors. Nikki, our staging sponsor, who set up this entire beautiful stage for us. I exclusively use her as my stager because, as you can see, it's gorgeous. Nikki is from Open Stage Interiors. She's a boutique home staging, styling, and redesign firm based in Concord, serving the greater Bay Area. They specialize in vacant home staging and short-term rental design. So if you haven't already done so, make sure that you guys grab a card out front, and then there's a QR code that you can go to follow them online. So thank you so much for Nikki, appreciate that. And then our amazing lender sponsor is Fairway Mortgage. Why don't you guys come on up?
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Catalina Verado with Fairway Independent Mortgage. I've been in the business for about 22 years plus, and I actually became a landlord and investor about 19 years ago. So I have some experience, but obviously nothing like these guys because they continue doing it. So I will be around if you guys have any questions. Know that there's many different ways to become an investor. So if you guys need the money, we'll be here.
Love that, love that. Thank you, Catalina. Appreciate you guys. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's talk about you guys. Who are you? Why are you here today? About the course of
Hey guys, I'm Angela. 6 doors. I just sold one, so I have to do a little bit of everything. I have a structure in Tennessee. I have university housing / MTR, midterm, interim rental in Ohio. And I have long terms here as well as I live out here in California.
amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Oh.
Good morning, my name is Walter Daniel. Mostly in the Atlanta metro area, been buying, selling real estate. So yeah, and own a house here in the Bay Area, Sarasota, and also Real City Productions.
Love that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So the format, just so that you guys know how today is going to roll, I like to make sure that you're aware of what's going to happen. So there's no fun surprises or tigers jumping out of the roof or anything like that. Don't worry about that. But today, Angel and I are going to be discussing a bit about short-term rentals. And then Walter is going to dive in with us about how we get to becoming investors as far as the numbers go, right? I know that you guys have got questions as well. And what you can do is save those questions for the end because we're going to have an in-depth question and answer session afterwards. All right, we get started. Let's do this. It worked. It worked. Okay, awesome. We didn't know if it was going to work or not. So short-term rentals, like I said, I just have my one small short-term rental. It's an Airbnb. And Angel and I were talking up here, and this is why I love doing these kinds of things, because I didn't realize that in the state of California, I could get in a lot of trouble if I don't have my 30-day and over renters sign a lease, right? And Angela, you've got properties, short-term rentals, and midterms all over the state. So tell us how find out about all these
are changing. So you can look at a restriction today, and then in 30 days from now, the city can have a meeting and it's completely different. So I love California, I'm probably never gonna leave Cali, but I don't like investing in Cali. Most of my properties here, we actually bought them, did a mini rehab, and either pulled out a HELOC or some type of financing and then moved on to the next one, and that's how we continue to do it here. But I go into, owner-friendly states where like, you're not paying for this whole share, you're like, you're out. Versus in Cali, y'all have to pay for it for 6 months. So, yeah, I just look them up. Google's a really good resource. Agents, like having an investor-friendly agent is super important, and not just having them know, but having them attend the meetings, the council meetings, city meetings, everything county. It's really important to make sure that you know what you're getting into.
Yes, please.
Sorry, Angela brought up the point about picking an agent. So I would say that if you're looking to invest out of state, you want to pick an agent that may be a president of a board or a member of the Association of Realtors, not just a member of the Association of Realtors, but a leadership position with that place, because politics are different. All politics are local. So what works here doesn't necessarily work in Tennessee, and I invest in Georgia or Arkansas. So just picking a realtor, we can reviews on sale and everything. There's different levels or different phases of real estate. This person might be good at, the standard family of 4, buy them a house. And there's a lot of new construction in other parts of the country. So anybody can sell construction as a realtor, but can you dig into the numbers? You know the rules and regulations, if you know the streets like the back of your hand. And I think it's a little bit trickier. Other parts of the community say that.
Yeah.
Especially in the South, it's a little trickier. So that I think that's a good start, finding an agent that is investment friendly.
Okay, you're both laughing at his little trickier. Give us a little bit of insight. Why do you say that?
Small town, cities, like the town I invested in about 30 miles southwest of Atlanta. It's very much generational, like, oh, the Warriors do this was here. I know the Warrior there. I went to high school with them. We did that. I would say in the Bay, a little bit more by the book, race, creed, religion, it's like a big deal that makes sense. Like other parts of the country, it's like yeah, I went to high school and let me have a Carson would be for the lawyer, that doesn't really happen here, but the title like the middleman, no one's trying to get you here. Other parts of the country is just different.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You guys look like you like, love that. All right, so how do we find out the markets? So my husband and I, we like using AirDNA, but that's because we had already known which zip code we wanted to buy through AirDNA, because it is, you pay per zip code with that. Angela, I've seen her Instagram stories, and there's gonna have a way to follow my page, but there's stuff up there. Angela, I saw one of your stories one night, it was late too, you were like, doing my favorite thing, and it was just a picture of the United States. And so tell us about how you find short-term markets.
So, I really love it. You can actually type in keywords. So if you go into filter and you type in keywords, you can actually type in STR or short-term rental all over the US, and you can find out. That's really cool. Another system I use is called STR Insights, and that one is more detailed, where you can say, I want a cabin, or I want a beachfront home, or I want a mountain, or I want a city, a metro, and they'll actually put out the cities, and then next to the city will be the ROI. I do not trust these completely. I go into my own writing, and a lot of times I don't even trust Airbnb, because I can block off my days. Not gonna mean that I have my time closed, but right now the days are blocked off because there, because we're finishing work. So it's not a guarantee that when you see blocked off days that it's rent it. So I use every system. I go in, I check Airbnb is super expensive, and I mean crazy expensive. If your agent pays for Airbnb, that's a good agent, because they're investing a lot of money into it, also. Another one is called Matchvisor. It's very similar to Airbnb, but it's way cheaper, so I'll do Matchvisor. And depending on the loan that you guys are getting, you will actually need to provide some type of underwriting to even be able to rent.
Love that, thank you. And I also know why we went to the zip code that we went to. And it's because I have family nearby, to be honest, and it's a university city, so we're looking in Bloomington, Indiana. Indiana is one of those owner-friendly states, right? They also have fewer taxes. So we're looking at bottom line, but also close to family, and because it's a university town, if I need to, those laws and regulations split like they can on a drop of a dime, then I'll be able to do the long-term rental or mid-term rental later on. So there's a lot that goes into the thought process of where do I want to purchase, right? Well, anything you want to mention about how you found, where you found your properties?
So I looked at demographic information. I also looked at industry. So I would say this was 7 or 8 years ago. I bought my first house in Georgia. My family was from there as well, so I used a similar strategy, but right up the road was the world's largest airport. So, you know, that's a lot of economic power through their pilots, stewards, you know, people that work in just the airline industry. Then I also saw that Amazon was coming to the area, hospital, major trauma, one hospital was coming close, Cancer Treatment Center of America was coming close, doctors, nurses. So,
Right?
it's Newton, Georgia, so it's 30 miles right from the airport. So look for places, universities, look for places where there's economic growth. It's not a dead zone, right? And you don't want, and it's hard, you have to risk, you don't want to go someplace where everybody's right there. You know, like, to me, it would make sense to go, maybe, I mean, you have the money and resources to like Sunnyman, because Google and all, and I'll take you right over. It makes more sense to look at like a Cleveland or Detroit. People aren't there yet. You have to anticipate being ahead of the crowd. I mean, the back, cats on the back in Silicon Valley, right? But like Detroit, but it's like you start seeing industry get there and Google your best friends. So look and look and look, and you're like, okay, that might be a place where I'll look into. Then you come follow steps, realtor, property manager, et cetera.
Thank you. How long do you think that you took in order to find the great area that you were looking
Like 2 weeks.
for? Okay, so some of us are really diverse, some of us are like, let's roll, let's do it. Okay.
Then my stay, so I jumped in. The Smokies is where my dark cabinet is. It is, if you are in the investment world, which is a tiny world, you guys, you will know what the Smokies is. It is Lake Tahoe to Tennessee. Might be known for that, Lake Tahoe is really bad as restriction, but just think of it as it's a drivable location. It was an STR area before STR were made. So I am currently, depending on the area, you underwrite it as an LTR because the shit that goes bad. You can always rent it as an LTR, long-term rental, but in my area, you're not gonna get a long-term renter in a cabin in the woods, like no one is gonna live there. So it is really, really one of those things you have to underwrite, it only has a short term.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. You know, you might have an investment, it might start out like, hey, I'm gonna flip this, but I would always look at an investment like, what if shit goes wrong? So, okay, I'm gonna flip it, okay, we're gonna flip it, I'm gonna flip it. And I've run into those situations as a real estate agent, like, we gotta get rid of this shit now, because, you know, you start an LLC, your 2 partners are beefing, you know, maybe 2 partners are married, so they got 4 people, right? Why it's like, so that's when you get into issue as an investor and also, as a seller, so.
No, you go with it. And how long?
How you look, yeah, so look for a while. I'm a little more conservative, so I'm a more 18-month to 24-month type person who's low scenario go. So you have to do a first review of your team. Investment is only good if when you lay out a night and it's your team. It might be like, oh, this is really uncle told me we'll doing a new thing. Fayetteville, Arkansas. You go to bed at night here in the Bay Area and you are stressed out. That's not a good investment, in my opinion. Your health and your mental state is more important than money. Money's gonna come to you, but I've seen and I've done some of this where you move too fast and get to it. So Angel's a little bit more aggressive about what.
I love that, between 2 weeks or 18 months. All right, awesome, moving on. So analyzing the data, like I said, Walter's gonna be up in a bit, telling us, writing down for us a little bit more about that, but this kind of data that we're talking about is a little bit about what we've already discussed, you know, going in and digging into Google, digging into what the area has to offer. We love the comparable method. I know that there's a lot of realtors here, and we are all 3 realtors as well. We personally use like a CMA, comparable market analysis, where we looked at what was on Airbnb, Vrbo, Furnish Finder. We looked to see what was in the area. And this is for our current one in Martinez. And we were like, all right, how can we make ours bigger and better and charge just about the same, right? So for us, it was just including the washer and dryer, believe it or not, just including the washer and dryer. That occupancy rate really ticking up. So for us, we were like, all right, this other one doesn't have a washer and dryer, but they're charging 95 and 90. Let's charge one of them. And boom, I mean, they just come and rate, we're really blessed. We're like in the 80s, right? Yeah, that's thank you. So for you guys, how do you decide what you're gonna charge for your short term, mid-term, long term?
I use price like my holy grail. And it's, so we have 2 hot seasons, because winter is really hot and summer is really hot for us. Our slow season is actually January and February. So in January, whatever, like right now, we're sticking to wood, and mind you, I have a kind of booking, but we're very fortunate because we still get booked. So right now we're at like 120 and 125. And then if I want to bump it up, because I don't know why, but it really messes with people when they see the cleaning fee over $100. So I'll do, I'll bump up my 90 to 160, and I'll drop my fee down to 99. And they're like, oh my God, it's me. It is, you know, so it's just kind of finding out your soft spot and then finding out, like, the enemy method is beautiful in this, where you actually go into your area and see what everybody else is charging and then just like mess with it. But the other thing is professional pictures help. Like, don't not be one of those camera phone pictures. And then like we even did some partial staging where like we had wine and like a girl watching TV outside and like looking stargazing to kind of just give it that little extra love.
I love that. And speaking of photography, include our amazing photographers, prized images, you guys. We've got Dustin and AJ over here. They are they're amazing for sure. They're my exclusive photographers. They rock. I need to have you out for my. Okay. Yeah, we'll just take you guys. Yeah. I mean, consider it like it was a property that you are trying to sell. You're literally trying to sell that term rental for the clicking eyes, right? Think about when you're looking at photos online, I'm clicking pretty quickly to see what I'm liking and what I don't. And if I see some nasty looking rug, you can smell it from the photos. I'm probably not going to choose to go there, right? So because we can make difference. So this is, my husband loves to nerd out. So this is what we felt was necessary when we were looking at this area in Washington. And Walter mentioned, you know, making sure that there's all these other things going on in the city. It's not just oh, I like it here because this has this one university. No, there's gotta be a little bit more meat on the bone to it, right? So for us, Bloomington was great because it has, there's 5 huge hospitals nearby. Lakewood Road is nearby, tons of great stuff. Oh, the presentation for today, I see you guys taking photos. I will provide you the QR code on the Mimosa table that has today's presentation. Yeah, you get that, you go get that QR code, you will have access to the presentation. Do you guys, are you paper and pen, or are you more spreadsheet? How do you organize when you're looking at your next purchase? How do you organize it for yourselves?
I would say I'm more paper and I'm more paper and, basically what I look at and what you have to analyze is, like I said, best case, worst case, kind of a mid area scenario. So, for example, pretty number, if the rental, the average of the area about $1,000 a month, when you're looking at it for the year, you can multiply that at least by only 11 months, you know, 11 months, when you're technical insurance, move out. Just different areas, so don't necessarily look at 12 months of revenue will be built, let's look at other things. So I'm on the paper thing, old school, about using the 1% rule, since properties have increased in value across the country the last 3 or 4 years. It's rare to buy 1%, you might be able to buy one, but definitely take it into consideration. It's something else a lot of folks can consider, there's all the tax benefits when you do personal investment. Oftentimes tax benefits is part of there. You know, any what you do to the property, you go there, you make repairs, you manage any of your property taxes, you're right from all your personal taxes. On your personal taxes, and that's another thing that you will see. And the second thing I will say is, if you have to pay for it very often, what we decide to do is from the LLC. And the reason why it's not money is so risky. So it's in Walgreens, you might all crack their head if you're not the wall. And my wife and 401k all others that it is in the limited liability corporation, they can sue the LLC, which won't have their properties. If the properties go away, that's fine, but this is not check. Make sure you're doing some risk management and you protect yourself. And also look at half of this is and all that stuff. We have to do that stuff. I don't know what stats are, but they're bad. They didn't deal with people where they're like, oh, something happens. Mom needs to get the right will. She has a simple asset will instead of like putting it in your trust. Well, now the house is sitting there. And she ready to sell. Mom got fearless, unfortunately. So now we're talking about not passing on generational wealth. And when the shit is sitting there aside and all, and you know, my folks, you know, you gotta call out stuff. We're gonna so then we gotta call out stuff. So you own for the property, make sure to protect it. So your kids, your loved one, even if I kids get tax, not calling the court as something appropriate state. So this is what I'm talking about in this house. People have to pay us and state of California, and I could have avoided this back 50 G's if you would have got a trust. I think we could already trust up 1940. So you get that stuff, still not. And that's where we're going to build generations up there. Your kids and his kids, and you know, the Bible, like build kind of your children, that stuff. So it's good. So
I'm glad that you said that because I think that I don't know, especially in my family, it was really taboo to talk about finances. We have got to start having more intelligent conversations with each other about these things, right? Keeping things under the rug and not talking about it. We don't find out from each other. Hey, how do you cool? Tell me about how you pulled in this amazing lawyer that helped you build an awesome trust. Like, let's get that information out there so that we all have, it, right? Sharing knowledge. That's good for sure. Angela, anything you want to add to that? No, get your stuff in.
Everybody. It's so bad, and it's like, what's going on here? Must be taking care of her. And like, I've seen those where I didn't see like, able to take care of her. And it's like, it doesn't take much to pay whatever it's go on over. Like, get it together. It's so bad. When you run a commercial law, your page and all that stuff, something that you look in the mirror or in this one.
Thank you.
Well, it's like, when I started using Quran, some of my brokerage. It's a reminder, when you first get this inside, before the end of the year, just check on. I mean. Yeah.
It's little things, and I'm gonna apologize, we love it. The setup, how do we get our spa set up so that people can come in and enjoy these rentals, right? It's such a huge experience when we are walking into, I mean, same thing when we sell homes. If you're walking in and it is bare bones and it's cold in there, unless it's an investor who's like, I'm about to make a deal in here, a typical buyer is gonna be like, this is terrible, I don't like the vibe in here. So it's important that when we market these properties, our rentals, that they show really well. We were talking about how much we love going out and finding things to make our rental properties really beautiful. These are some of the places that you guys can go to check out. Costco, we both really like Costco, that's pulled up because it's important to like, you know, either in Bloomington or Atlanta or the Smokies, we can't just hop in the car and be there in 30 minutes because there was, you know, we're out of town, there's stains on the house. Things for us, we found that it was important to get things that were replicatable. So like sheets, buy 4 sets of the same color, have them clean and ready to go for your cleaning person and say, hey, that one was ruined, I got a new one, no more, right? It's easy stuff like that. Yeah. What about for you?
I want to add something to the sheets. This is huge. Please get a mattress protector. Please get a waterproof mat and on the pillows as well. Because I know it sounds really, but trust me, in the back of you don't have it, especially for me, because I've stayed here before. But yes, plastic is major. And then back a couple years ago, and every rental is different. A long term doesn't need to be like, oh my lord, it's just something that they're gonna live in. But a short term, everybody's Instagramming everything and putting everything on TikTok. So now they're all like themed out, extremely decked out. They look like HD TVs. So if you're wondering why you're not getting bookings, you probably need to take a look at your design and see where you can add in an accent wall, do something really cute, a place for them to take pictures, and then little things too, like, yes, furniture is super important, but I always say find your market, like who are you trying to sell to, and then create your listing for them. So if you're going for family, make sure you have skateboards, make sure you have stuff for the kids, make sure you have a high chair. But if you're going for the bachelorette, make sure you got like little shot glasses. And you know what I mean? Like it's changed depending on who you're going for. But if your bookings are slow, really take a deep dive into the design of it.
Plastic shot glasses. Okay, added to the list. Added to the
You should see the national, they have a bachelorette and they supply every time with cowboy hats, the little necklaces that have inappropriate stuff on them. Shot glasses, but they are nonstop booked and it's just a little like extra. And mind you, I can technically, we have cleaners who do stuff like that, but I'm lazy and I don't do it. I'll do it for holidays, like for Christmas, everybody had chocolate bombs. You have to be careful because if you don't tell them what's in it and someone's got allergy, you're a lawsuit. So we like rewrite the message. Hey, we left you a little gift. Here are the ingredients. Please make sure that your child or you do not have an allergy prior to eating it. That way then we're in a safety net.
A lot of CYA, a lot of covering your ass, right? Making sure you have to drill it down to like you're explaining it to a fourth grader. Yeah, anything you want to add on that?
Not as much detail on the long-term side, I mean, it's just basically, I use the property manager, I would say, if you're going to invest out of state for the long term, there's an evaluate, and there's some people trying to do a little bit, there's a little something, they're here, call, the weeks, and things wrong with the property, property manager, has to file ahead, and typically they charge about 8 to 10 per unit, and again, most units being done with these, so we did that, it's 8, but I'm not the revenue property manager. That's another tax credit, it's taking a lot of this, I try to do local units, and, definitely, also, it's key, unfortunately, sometimes you have to make people, and certain things, the property management, can do this. So you're here, you want to apply back and forth for 4 days, that's where the money you spend going back and forth. So then property management will also do a good betting thing to do with that is after the talk to renters and owner they are so definitely property manager is definitely realtor property manager kind of want to get into this we're looking at.
The opposite though, and I'll just tell you guys, I self-manage my short-term rentals, and even my MTR, only because, yes, it is 8 to 10 for long-term, but it is actually 20 to 30 on a short-term.
So you saying it's 20 to 30% have a property manager for your short term?
Yes, that is standard in the short-term rule. And because it is a lot more work, like he said, you in the long term, you only get called for when there's a leak or something's wrong. In a short term, I can't open the door. Like literally, I got called, I thought it's December, it's supposed to be snowing. That's right, but we get called for every single day. So it's a lot more work. So yes, 20 to 30 is the average range. So I self-manage.
I'm curious, what is, just out of genuine curiosity, what is the wildest call that you guys have had that you're like, yeah, it's not snowing, I don't know, I don't control the weather, right? Like, I cannot break the snow,
They
yeah.
were really upset, and they really wanted a refund because they booked during December and they said they thought it would be snowing. I do it and like respond back to that.
I love it, I love that.
So I just apologize and said, unfortunately, I do not have control of the weather, but I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay. And if they do, because in the short-term world, reviews are everything. So if you get a bad review, there are tricks about it. And one thing to do, I shouldn't say this, but if you tell them, well, if I give you a refund, would that prevent you from giving me a bad review? Most of the time they'll say yes, screenshot that shit, send it to Airbnb. They're trying to steal money from you or like, and they'll take off of that review. So anytime someone gives me a bad review, like if I would have given you a refund for this amount or whatever, would you have not given me that? Yes. Screenshot to them. Because that's, you're not supposed to do that. You're giving an honest review of what you went through, not because you're getting a refund or because whatever. Yeah, so that's a little trick for it.
That's so good to know, thank you. Taking notes back there, Mark? Great, okay, awesome. I rewatch these because you guys provide so much value. Like I go back and rewatch the video because it's such good information. So we're gonna drill into now, how we get our properties, and how we acquired them, right? How we financially got to a place where we were able to purchase 1 to 8 rentals, right? So we can drill into that, and then Walter, if you want to go and write some things out too, it's totally up to you. No, okay, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. So let's hear from you guys, because I would love to know how you got into your rentals.
So we do it a few ways because we like most of you guys are agents. So when I close a deal, yeah, I'm gonna need my house, it's my house. Like literally, that's my mindset. But before that, We had purchased a house in San Jose, did a rehab on it. The house we purchased it for roughly $450. Yeah, it's worth roughly $1 million right now, we're just the less market. We pulled out a HELOC. We then took that HELOC and went and purchased the property with it. And then obviously we ran out of money on the HELOC, right? So then anytime that I did close the deal in real estate, we take that money and go invest it. Then we did a flip and we made money from there. So we just kind of use strategies, but I mean, in our house, investing is everything. Like my kids know how to run numbers. My youngest does designs on flips. Like it is not like something we do for fun. This is like a lifestyle. So when it comes down to it, like we really make sure that we're saving money to put towards investing next.
A strategy that I use is, when I was working, you know, you're listening and etc. You can take fun out of that, absolutely. Also, just a basic brokerage account, you know, use like S&P 500 fund or Super or, and when that mutual fund hits a certain dollar amount, you pull out, you buy a property, then you fund that through your rental income, your own personal income, or your real estate sales. It kind of buys the market, it funds up, no matter the property, and continue to do that as well. You can take equity lines out on brokerage accounts, you've done that. 401k, outright savings, investing. I don't know what's considered HELOC started. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you could do it. There's so many programs, but I would say like probably the most important thing to do is run your numbers and run your numbers very well. Because everybody's situation is different. You have something other than kind of a steady income, and you can be a little bit more aggressive. If you're a real estate agent, you're on a lot of conditions, you might want to back down a little bit on that and not be as aggressive because you have a home that's good and that's failed. So everyone's situation is very different, but I definitely think it's a thing you can do. But this will depend on the function. Some people take out hard money loans. I'm not too familiar with that, but there's different things you can do to buy real estate. And the bottom line of all this stuff is like you want to buy real estate in that option, right? Like, you know, if something happens, sell real estate, you have money to rely on. If you have a regular, you know, W-2 job, then you are going to lose the place to stay. Or you can sell a property. I sold a property like here. The bottom line is to do stuff financial options, and then also provide for your friends and family. Like I said, y'all need nothing, y'all don't have. Everybody has to die, and us the kids, hopefully, it's supposed to know. We want to listen for our kids, will have the same struggle that we do. I don't want my daughter to go this issue. And that's how you really lead the rest. And also, another thing, you know, so is there an option that you hear? I don't want to be murdered.
No, I love it.
I'm not going to do this. My God, all of this is a property is, you know, since I have the lost one, I haven't done it. I don't want to be a burden to my house, so that's part of my motivation. But anyway, yeah, across the numbers, no, nothing.
Awesome. Hard money loans.
Yeah, so we use hard money for our flips and only our flips. I wouldn't suggest you our money for anything else because they are high interest rates. They have, we came in what, a year? Yeah, so we only do it when we're doing fixed and flips. In regards to like how we finance our properties, I've done a second home loan, I've done a DSCR loan. Right now because my TTI, so I can only purchase using a DSCR loan, which goes against the property, not me. So they evaluate the property and make sure that it's going to actually pay for itself, and then we lend it to you. So that's my only option right now because I'm utilizing all my debt. But yeah, the other thing that he mentioned too is in regards to like hard money or any type of financing, when you get to a certain place in investing, other people want to invest with you. So then you can go out, like, go buy a property with no money out of pocket. And I know that sounds wild, but a lot of people, they don't want to do the research. They don't want to take the time to figure out the restrictions. And they don't want to do that, but they got the money. So they're like, all right, you know what you're doing, you know how to do it, and what, you know, what you're gonna bring in. Find us a property, I'll put the money in, and you do the work. And that happens. I mean, those agents lives without putting money in on time.
And for you guys that are starting your investment portfolios, even putting this event on social media and saying, I'm educating myself. It's showing the general public, it's showing your partners, right? Your potential partners later on, look, I'm educating myself, I'm getting to know my stuff. And I mean, even from the one event I threw, Mark and I already had someone tell us, yeah, we've got about 50K that we can just give you to invest with you. Like, that's amazing. That's like exactly what the down payment would have been. Let's roll, let's do this, right? So it makes a big difference, but I will say having things in writing is so damn important, guys. If you are gonna go in and on a partnership with someone, don't do a handshake. I mean, right?
So he mentioned the decals and multiple properties and LLCs. Everything besides my long terms have partners involved in them. And they're all have different LLCs because some of them are different partners and everything's structured differently. If I bring the deal, if I find it and everything, I would look for a partner and be like, hey, here's the deal, put up the money, and then we'll structure it where I do work. And I like it like that. And I know he's not a fan of partnerships, and I know why. But I think a lot of times if you can find a partner with his silence, who knows their best, but make sure they can agree to stay.
oh, I love that. Make sure they agree to stay, right? That stuff out. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get to that.
I'm gonna make him part of the.
I'm just very honestly, I'm very a little averse and you've got more. Not that you shouldn't do it, I encourage you to do it, just understand the risk that are associated with it, you know, go worst case scenario, best case scenario. You know, manage risk and manage risk very well. Make sure you're very, very clear on who you want to roll responsibility.
Awesome, you guys, thank you. Let's get some questions going from you guys, yeah? Omar, thank you, yeah. So I have two amazing volunteers today, you guys. Actually, no, three, because my husband's volunteering. So Mark, thank you so much for helping. Omar, who you guys saw when you came in and registered, he's gonna help us out with questions with the mic. And then Brian is my AV guy. He came in, there he is. He came in on his day off, so thank you so much for our amazing volunteers. I appreciate you guys a ton. Omar, you've got the microphone, you guys. If you have a question, raise your hand and Omar will bring the mic on over to you. And I know we're all still thinking, we just learned any questions, whether it's from today and what you learned here, or just a general question that you have about investing, short-term, mid-term, or long-term, because you've got the whole gamut here. Yeah, Ilona.
Hi, thanks for sharing, I appreciate it. So we the person to think about investing out of the state. We both live in this state, and when you did, what was the worst thing that happened, like your first one when you invested out of state, and you like,
Good one.
That issue that I'm scared of, you know, what I mean. Yeah, it's just what I have to do this. I'm being not reviewed. And that's where your property manager comes into play, to decide, last state, decide to go that way. Knowing or having somebody that knows the rules and regulations. So for example, like how many pounds are supposed to is part of this somebody on the property, right? And you know, who you go, worst case scenario, they don't pay in January, August, they don't pay it, usually it's not worth payment, you try to sell it, buy it, but no one's taking that risk, etc. And Tennessee, Georgia, is about like 45 days. Like it is no joke, like share interest out. I mean, as an investor, and I don't like to see people on horrible, but at the end of the day, you're running a business. So you have to kind of put based on like how many of business and I need to evict this person, I need to evict. Because eviction costs money, not the legal fee, but you have to turn the property over. So you want to be in a state where you can turn the property over quicker versus someone is still in their house and not collecting any money. You still have to pay. So I would be very, very, very good. It's take on sure. It's going to be about absolutely free location where you can come and yeah, go for it. Makes you pretty nice.
So I don't want to scare you.
No, Sarah, go for it. No, it all.
After I bought the property in Tennessee, I want to say within 5 days, the main water line broke. And it was actually on the exterior or the inside portion of the exterior. So if it had been 2 inches over, it would have been a city issue. But because it was 2 inches my way, it was a $10,000 cost. Mind you, I had just closed with my first STR and I'm sitting there with a bottle of tequila crying. Yeah. But I called the water company. I'm like, why didn't you guys notify me? Like, why wasn't this like, you know, obviously the water is running nonstop. And they're like, we did, we left you 3 messages. And I was like, when? They told me, and mine had closed 2 days before. So they had left messages a few weeks prior. So I asked them to write me an email telling me that. And then they got scared because it's a small town. They knew the previous owner. They wanted to protect her. So I reminded them that I'm from California, so we sue a lot. So if, you know, write me an email or I'm coming after you. They wrote that email in 5 minutes and I sent it to the old owner and I like let her know, hey, like I'm gonna sue you, either you give me the 10 grand or she paid. So thank you, Lord. But that was one of them. The second one is I did not vet my loan officer really well in my property in Ohio, one in the duplex in Ohio. And then our, what is it, our appraiser died midway and we didn't know where to break.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Right. But so that one, he ended up having to redo the loan because the appraiser died and we needed a new one. And the rates had spiked. So my numbers were no longer like what I expected them to be. And then Ohio is I can't think of the term. What is it? So basically, yeah, perform state. So if you can perform and they know you have the money in your bank, you have to close. The seller of my property was supposed to be the attorney. Oh my God. So it doesn't profit as much as I would want. I still bought it, but I'm converting it to an MTR and it will profit more than what I expected from an MTR. A medium-term rental, it is more for nurses, professionals, you know, it's pretty like anything above 30 days is considered a medium-term.
Yes, so we stated STR, MTR, LTR. STR is short term, MTR is mid, L is. Yeah. Those are some really interesting stories. We've only had to deal with like some really stinky stuff that happened in ours where we had to like air it out for a long time. And thank goodness we had protectors on everything. I mean, every pillow, even the decorative ones, like everything is protected. So everything got triple washed that time around. But I will say, that's something that you should let your cleaning folks know about. Hey, if you walk in and something's off, I need you to let me know. That's where having that expectation, whether it be with your property manager or your cleaning crew, hey, if something's off, I need you to let me know right away. No, I don't even know what the smell was. It was a lot of different things.
We actually message them and be like, hey, no issue, but we just need to know in order to clean it properly. And then once they tell us, we screenshot it to Airbnb and send it, and then they get charged an extra fee.
Ooh, thank you. I see you guys are learning so much up here. I know you are as well. Thank you, Ilona. Great question. Who else has got another one? No idea.
I think another,
Oh, we got another question, Omar. Thank you.
Hey, I'm was a very long discussion so far. The question is how to decide which property is what what are the decision criteria for that? And the other question is when you I have a question. The question is that when you decide to run this in Tennessee, rather than the majority of the ones in Ohio, and you are renting yourself, how much do you drive to the residents of Robinson to ride yourself?
I've never been to Ohio and I don't plan it.
Well,
I'm a property manager there, but I will be managing, the MTR there myself. And the way that I do that is I utilize the cleaner. So my cleaner is my boots on the ground and I find cleaners based on Facebook groups. If you ever type in, like, for example is like Ohio investment properties, and then you go right in there, like, I need a cleaner and get recommendations. That's the best way I still vet them out.
So you use cleaner
Yes, I use them to, like, if there's, but even if, for example, I used this in a video before, is if there's a water leak, I live in Turlock. I have a property in San Jose. If there's a water leak in San Jose, I'm not driving to San Jose. I'm gonna call plumber and have a plumber fix it. If there's something wrong, I'm just gonna call whoever the necessary person is and have them do it. I'm not going. I don't have any, I've only been to Tennessee once, and I mean, I've redecorated. No, I don't know anybody in Tennessee, and I know my property manager in Ohio, but driving the same, so I doubt anyone's help me. Yes, I bought all, I've actually bought majority of my properties without ever seeing them, including my residents that I'm in. Yeah. And in regards to how I dictate whether it's an STR, MTR, or LTR, is depending on the area. For example, Cleveland, Ohio is a place that I've been looking at, but Cleveland does really well as a short term in the summer. But nobody wants to go to Cleveland in the winter, right? But they do have a lot of necessary hospitals, and who do they need? They need nurses. So what my plan is, if I buy a property there, I will do a short term in the summer and then a medium term in the winter. And same with Kansas City. By the way, Oklahoma, I've been looking, I can't get my members to work, but they're 48 hours. Well, they'll have the sheriffs take someone out in 48 hours. So like in California, it's like 6 to 8 months, and Oklahoma, it's 48 hours. California is good for appreciation. It's amazing for appreciation. I mean, but in regards to being an owner and getting someone out, like, my heart's with you, like, may the Lord be on your side.
Yeah, it depends on your strategy. So our strategy was on creating money income. So you're right. So Midwest South typically low cash on cash, where here it's more like closure buys property in 2023 and hopefully sell it in 2029. Like the money and the cash flow is not going to be there over month, but the appreciation here to help them. I mean, it's only 18 months cycle. Go. They show it out and no revenue comes, so but it doesn't get it right. So what is the strength of the portfolio? Well, that is your portfolio. You may be owning a single family home here, so you're getting the appreciation piece in your primary benefits. Now let's go to some money and cash flow from the STR or long-term rents in the country. So looking at the portfolio of everyone's situation is different. It also, it might be, you're in a earning house and it's possible and then you diversify a little bit of real estate, or you might be having real estate, you may want to go into some market and like stocks, bonds, look at your people love Instagram, love Facebook, everyone's situation is different. You might, say everyone's got 99, this, you would be for that hair. And so maybe you wait, that's when you have to take care of that, but then it is to stop on your 401k. Everybody's situation is different. You don't just do your everybody's doing it. I know there's not a shit all if you're in a then go buy something. So well, I have my purpose in folks, side of the other. So, yeah, it's just, my point is everyone's situation is different and don't make people. Right in front of us.
I love that. And for us, we house hack. That's how we decided our first house. We bought it with a 3.5% FHA loan. Because that's what we had and that's what we wanted to invest so that we still had cash on hand to furnish the property, to buy the appliances that we wanted to put in there, not the white microwave, the stainless steel microwave, right? That's what we did for our first one. It's a 300 square foot studio. And for us, when we ran the numbers, we thought to ourselves, well, I can make maybe 1,100, 1,300 with this studio long term. It's at least double that much. So that's why our family chose that route. But you're absolutely right. We have two completely different styles of investments up here, right? We've got the really aggressive short-term, midterm, and we've got the conservative long-term game. It's what matters to us, our portfolio, our family, our kids. Point blank, that's what matters. Yeah, great. I think we've got. Yeah, let's do one last question.
There's 3 over there and there's 2 over there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I love it. Let's do a couple more. Let's hear it.
Good question.
Teresa, yeah.
Being an investor without being a primary one for
Yeah. I mean, you're saying like, you're a primary, and then you want to put money to invest here.
I want to say that in front of loan officers and I don't know mortgage product. That's out. And you guys know that. Yes, I know. The classic. Totally illegal. It is. It's mortgage product.
Yeah, and I don't know people that like woman things like that. We don't do this stuff.
No.
Let's not experts talk.
Yeah.
Say, I don't own a home, but can I become an investor? Yes, you can. You can still rent, right? You're renting and then you can buy an investment property. That's not an issue at all.
The difference is, you don't buy a primary residence, a house, really know this is a primary residence.
Right. Right. That's right, yeah.
So an investment loan.
There.
Yeah.
Buying it as an investment, and then it's a scenario.
So the reason why I do like house hacks, especially here, is because then it doesn't become illegal. You are putting the lowest amount down, but you're living in one side and you're renting out the other. And then in, what is it, 1 year or 2 years?
1 year.
One
Yeah.
year, you can,
Yeah.
and that can become a full investment versus if you buy an investment property here in California, you are typically gonna put a lot more down than if you were buying a primary. And that's why people tend to do it, but it is completely illegal. And that's why I like the house hack idea.
So, yeah, but you can definitely become an investor without really owning a home, a primary, doesn't matter. As long as you apply for the loan as an investment.
your clients that are totally against purchasing property in California. They're just totally against, so they have money. They're interested in investing.
Here's my recommendation in California. Like I said, I became a landlord. With my first home, I bought a triplex, lived in one, did FHA financing and rented out into other units. So literally, I never really had to make a payment out of pocket. Because my 2 rentals were paying for the mortgage. In fact, I was actually property every month. So if you guys are first time buyers and looking to buy a property, I would highly recommend going FHA and buy a fourplex. Don't buy a duplex. But if you can buy a fourplex as your primary resident, first time home buyer, and use FHA financing, that is the best thing that you can do, and that is the best way to become a landlord.
Yeah, that's really smart, especially like a lot of the younger faces out there. Just go there and live in, you know, like, etc. You don't need, I think more classes than family home. Now I was talking options and stuff, and that's been kind of funny. People that have 5 or 6 years. I mean, California real estate is probably one of the best investments in the world. It's supply and demand. So like, if you can do it, that's gonna kind of like this vision, great. That's a great plan.
So if you buy in California, here's my suggestion. Do not be a landlord and manage property. Do not. You find a property management company that is gonna manage it for you, and you stay on top of it. In California, there's just too many regulations throughout the state of California. Appreciation is great, but there's a lot of issues that you're gonna find that people are gonna wanna, so you just for anything. I mean, we actually did have a court place, and these people were pigs. I mean, they would never leave, and they end up with cockroaches and all kinds of stuff. And I end up having to pay them $30,000. We went into a lawsuit again, got my insurance involved, obviously, right? But again, and I mean, I'm a broker, I have a broker's license, in a lender. And I was managing because like, I know my stuff. And after that experience, I'm like, no more. I went to property management and they managed for me, and the practice here, no.
Manage the managers.
Yeah, exactly. You manage the manager because guess what? Not a lot of them are that good either. You have to stay on top of it. It is a property, so it is a responsibility. They might drop the ball. And they're, yeah, the management company, but at the end of the day, it's your property. I do, nowadays I do because I learn, but it's been like 19 years.
So I have a property that
Here's, right here, there's some places, you know, a small thing, they're changing them even, some enough that they don't want them to deposit down or whatever. And they don't want to leave, it costs money to leave. It costs money to be on your rules of this. Essentially, experience, especially downstate, you're gonna be paid. The person's not gonna be, especially especially now because the gap between renting and buying, especially like in South and Midwest ag increase. You'd be like, oh no, you just go buy a house, you're gonna pay $1,000 for rent, it's not like that, right? So it's cheap. I did. Well, I want to get back to, we were talking about buying out of state, side and scene. So where are you on when you decide if you're gonna put the trigger on it? It's just the number, or you have somebody come to the picture for you, you need housing inspection?
So I do all of it. And it depends if I'm gonna, what the strategy is for it. So if it's a short-term rental, I will have my agent go out, take pictures, videos. I will have a full inspection on it. And then I'll review it from there. But a lot of times, yeah, I'll see it on Zillow and decide I like it. I know that I like the area. I've done my research. I know what the houses are going for. But if it's a long term, I'll actually ask the property manager as well to go out, only because they know, and they're not trying to get a dollar from me. They know that no matter where I buy it in that area, they're getting it. So they want me to have a property that's going to be profitable not only to me, but for them as well, because then I become a long-term client to them. So it all depends on the strategy. But yeah, I don't funds them. It's basically the agent, the inspector, and then I use my appraisal as well.
Yeah, property managers, they're gonna know different, they're gonna do more than.
Yep.
Because they're gonna sit on town, they're gonna find files about like. There.
And so now even more.
They'll tell you more, they're not. Et cetera, et cetera. The property manager, they're all together, and they also know the demand for the rentals in a certain area. Very well. But obviously, you got to make them.
So if you're interested in a property, it's all online, is the property manager that goes to the person in contact?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I'll send an email like, what's the being through, what do you all think here on the license for the right area? You know, temporary certain ones that or get them there. That's good. So if they're not the brand new, so signs.
For me, it depends if I'm even gonna have a property manager, but because I like to look at properties at 2:30 in the morning, like you know, I will already asked my property manager to send me zip codes that they think are very profitable. There are places like Oakland where one street is one thing and the next street is a total different thing. So it is tough, but for example, Kansas City is not like Oakland. So I know if I go into this area, I'm safe. So I stick to that area.
Those were amazing questions, you guys. We're gonna do one more question and then we're gonna stick around till noon. So if you guys have specific questions for Angela and Walter, and also their IG tags. Here's their info. So make sure that you guys stay connected with them, and Sil, we'll end with you.
Okay, the outstage was, you said that you have to be right on property manager, so I see the property, we work on it before it's ready to market, you know. Because your property manager coordinate that and find the contact person, and then once it's ready, you need to put some furniture in. So how do you shop furniture and get buy it and get it delivered and all that?
Okay, so again, it depends, like for my short term, I don't have a property manager, and that's usually when I have to furnish the property. So I use Bigger Pockets a lot, I use Facebook a lot, and I'll go in there and I'll type out the city name and I'll type contractors. And then that is basically a Facebook for investors. So I'll write out and be like, hey guys, I'm looking for a contractor in this area. Can you guys recommend anybody? And a lot of the investment world is really small. It really is. Everybody knows everybody. So I can call one of my mentors and be like, hey, I need recommendations, and they'll pop some more. The one thing that I have learned from other people's experience is when they send you a picture, you feel like I want a whole video. I don't want a picture of you painted the wall. I want to see every wall, because you're not there and you can't be there all the time. In regards to the furniture, when I have a property, I have 4 different cleaners lined up in my head, and they do charge me for installing furniture and doing all this extra stuff. But I have it delivered from Amazon, Wayfair, Target, all of those places. I have it delivered depending on the size. If it's small, it goes directly to my cleaner's house. If it's big, it goes directly to the short term. And then they charge me to install it, to put it together and everything like that. I don't do no IKEA because I'm not trying to get $1,000 bill. They get mad at you. And then like when you do buy a property, you tend to be running out of funds. So I don't know this all the way, but I have done it. Is you get a 0 interest credit card and you max that shit out, buy everything you need to furnish it correctly. And then everything that you earn on that property, you take to pay that credit card off. That will help you furnish the property without feeling like you're breaking the bank. The 0 interest lasts for about 15 to 18 months. So that gives you enough time to pay it back.
So you just give the key to put it, you give it to your cleaner or you have them pick it to your property tax.
So we switched the lock the same day, and because it's an STR, we typically have a digital lock, and then what we do is we put the contractor's lock box outside. We put one out there just in case because electronics fail, and then I change the code whenever I feel like it. There's a new system, so I use Hospitable. They have not yet came into, I forget if it's owner res will actually change the code based on the last 4 digits of your cell phone number. So if you do a booking with me and it gets dropped into owner res will update my keypad and it will change it to your 4 digits. I'm still on Hospitable. I feel like for owner res, you need to invest a lot of time and energy. Great system. I have nothing bad about it, but you definitely need to be well versed to use it. Hospitals like for dummies, so it works.
It's real quick, but also it's got a lot of managers will have either in-house agents or directly. And I kind of prefer that a little bit because a lot of our that sorts of, you know, when you have an expense that's taken $1,000, we got it all in your taxes. So at the end of the year, you just get all their files, your profit, all stay there. And then they either have it with, so it's something like that in,
You guys have a solid team, it sounds like, that you work with. I know that from your last panel up here, you were mentioning having a really solid team, and Angela, hearing about your cleaners, it sounds like putting in the time to vet these people is well worth it. money well spent.
And then someone said about the senior stuff, I'm more of at least 3 or 4 times a year type of guy. Like, put your eyes on, see what's going on, and then, you know, you can make your own system. Sometimes the propaganda, they're really great about where to sit in the handle. Sometimes they're not really careful. That's about it. So get your mind on what's your place, look around, right? The shirt off.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I love podcasts and the energy, but I've been doing investment property in almost 20 years. Know who you are. Yeah.
Know who you are.
Know who you are. Everything she said is awesome, but 99% of the people don't have the nerve of running property.
I love it though, you guys, like I do this as well with it.
Yeah.
But know who you are. It takes a lot of nerve running through that. It's not doing it's like watching recording investment, right?
And I, like I said, I don't, I can't do that. I don't know. Oh my God, it's many, everybody read my place. Or like, for me, yeah.
That's right.
And you don't really have the personality and perseverance to do it. So know who you are. Go for it. If you believe in having go for it, but that's not the personality.
Your relationships.
And being, because I'm super short, like when they ask me stuff, I'm like, yes, or the key acts there, like, to me, I don't have the patience for it. So that is something that like one of my silent partners, definitely you take that to me, because I don't like talking to people. I don't have the patience, and she'll see me messing back and forth when she go vacation, she's like, dude, say hi, how are you? I'm like, no, they asked where this is. So, like, I'm gonna wash the dryers, I'm like, you walk through the hallway and turn left. Like, in my head, you're there, I'm not there, you want me to send the video? So we do now, because of those type of questions, and I have patience, we make videos for everything, like how to use the hot tub, how to turn on the washer and dryer, how to turn on the dishwasher, and we save them in a Google Drive, and then Hospitable and Airbnb has quick replies. So you can just go in there and like tap it, and then and so I did quick replies for everything. And mind you, I do have a VA who helps too, to set all of that up for me. But yes, I invest a lot of time into it.
And you mentioned this is a lifestyle. This is something that it keeps us up at night. It's something that we're constantly thinking about. What's the next one? Where can I make this one even better than where it's at now? Again, by the way, I just want to remind you guys that Catalina Alvarado was the lender that was up here. You can give us a wave. She was our amazing sponsor. You guys, she's been doing this almost 20 years with renters and really knows the ins and outs of lending. I asked her the most random questions and she's like, oh, it's this, here you go. So if you're looking for someone to help you here in California, it's definitely someone to go to. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Let's give a huge round of applause. You guys, we're gonna be around till noonish. And yeah, about another 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then we're all gonna head out. Thank you guys so much, and don't forget to save the date for the next one. Oh, thank you.
I speak to.
I'm
I gotta get your. Exactly.
Are you an agent? Okay, so you can always do this too, when they don't want to buy here and you help them, get it with them. If they have something in another state, they're like, yeah, I prefer this area or that area, get it with them, they find the agent for them and have that agent do work, and you take 25%. Proud, okay, right after. Yeah. Or no. Right there. That's funny. Right there. Yeah, what? Nice. Thank you for letting me know.